Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to When Saturdays Come with me, Dry Bright. It's been a busy old week, hasn't it? 3 games in a week, quite a few videos to do. Sheffield Wednesday game where we won 3-0, and last night against Portsmouth, we ran out 3-0 winners, and we move on to Leicester City on Saturday. A tough game, tough team to go to as well, formerly the Premiership, and come down a big squad. And with one of our old players there, we had on loan Hamza Chowdhury. We'll be facing him on Saturday. We'll just have to wait and see. Leicester City not in great form, mid-table, bit inconsistent. The last 5 home games, they've only won 1, drawn 3, and lost 1. And the last away game they had, they lost 3-0 at Southampton. So they're not in great form. Overall, they're 15th in the table. They played 17, won 6, drawn 6, and lost 5. Goal scored and goal conceded stands at 1.18, so they're exactly the same. So they aren't capable of scoring goals, of course, but they are capable of conceding them as well. So we can go there with a bit of confidence, can't we? The confidence is growing a little bit within the squad, and the narrative's changing. We can look up the table now instead of looking down below us, and we can hopefully keep moving forward. It's really important now that we keep picking up these points. We've not conceded in 3 games, and let's hope that Achilles heel of ours has now been well and truly buried and giving stupid mistakes away at the back, and we can keep moving forward. And it's great to see. You know, we are a lot better than the league table shows. We know that. And we can start. It's no point in looking back anymore. We know what all the excuses have been and why it happened. We've got to keep looking forward now and pick up points before the January window. And then Chris Wilder will hopefully get his wish and get the players that he wants into the squad. And we can get rid of those who we don't want. And there's quite a few of those. Probably 4 or 5 of those will be moving out. And hopefully 4 or 5 will be moving in. But we'll wait and see on that. The board have got his plans and hope they're going to back him. Incidentally, talking about the board, I think you've all probably read the statement what come out regarding the rumours or there's no smoke without fire. I'm not sure whether they really had a look at Sheffield Wednesday and wanted to do any type of a merger. I'd be very, very surprised if that happened. It would never happen anyway because the football regulator would never allow it to happen. So I wouldn't worry ourselves about that. I think what's more important that we focus on the team. Chris Wilder focus on the team and not all the nonsense behind the scenes, what the board are talking about. The most important thing for us and Chris Wilder, that they get behind the club and they support the club in the January. And I know they're going to have a talk about it in January, where they are and where they want to be, and hopefully bring in new sponsors into the club and new backers. We'll wait and see on that. Who knows with this board? They don't really come out and say much, do they? The statements are very few and far between. But the main thing, do you believe anything they say anyway? We'll have to wait and see on that, and we'll see if they're going to back Chris. We'll find out in the next few weeks, won't we? So anyway, I've got to say a big thank you. It's really important we do this now because, and I say this because I started this channel back in end of January, 10 months ago. It was a sort of a niche I had to scratch. It'd been thought about years ago, but I never got around to doing it. Because of work and doing shifts and all the rest of it, and I'm retired now, and so I can find a bit more time to do it and doing something that I love doing, talking about the Blades. I didn't know what was going to happen, and as you know, I put it out there. We've got over 3,000 subscribers in 10 months, which is absolutely phenomenal. I didn't think I was going to get 100, to be honest with you, but it's just absolutely brilliant way the channel is going and way it's growing. I don't know where it's going to go, how big it's going to be or whatever. I'm not, to be quite truthful with you, I'm not overly worried about it. I'm just happy to do this as a hobby and talk about Sheffield United. Come on here and have a rant now and again and talk to you guys about the Blades, and it's a pleasure to do that. And I love doing the videos and writing back, replying to your comments and all that. Can I just say a big few thank yous to people who support the channel. And I wrote a few names down. The people write regularly in the comments. You know, people like Neil, who is in Thailand, and Beverly, Phil, Neil Story, Michael, Carl, John, Jamie, John Brady, David Cheatham, Tim, Wayne, Red Bull, He's a Blade, Lolo, John Richardson, Julian, Tom, Justin, Ricky, who's a Leeds fan, by the way, Thomas, Kevin, Eamon, Chariots of Fire. If I have missed anybody out, honestly, thank you. Whoever you are, I can't, off the top of my head, I wrote a few names down, but these people generally make comments nearly every video. Thank you to each and every one of you and all you other fantastic people who subscribe to the channel. I am very humbled. I really am, to see where how the channel is growing. And hopefully we can keep doing this and keep moving on together. Who knows where the channel will be in 6 months' time or a year if we're still doing it. And I hope you sincerely enjoy doing it as much as I watching it as much as I do like doing the channel as well. So thank you to you all. Obviously, please keep liking and subscribing and hyping the channel. It's really important to help us keep going and spread the word. Spread the word. People are coming up to me and saying how much they enjoy the channel when I'm out and about as well. So thank you to each and every one of you. I'm going to put hopefully Chris Wilder's presser on after me when he does it on Friday morning at some point, because they'll be going down to Leicester, won't they? So we'll look forward to seeing what Chris has got to say. I think Chong's back in the squad now. I'm going to say it could be similar to the same squad who rocked up against Portsmouth, and hopefully one or two more additions. I know Blaster will try and get some under 21 games in. Tom Davies is out for several weeks again, which is very unfortunate for him, because when he's fit, he's a good player. But unfortunately, he spends more time out than he does playing. So I think there's a decision to be made on Tom in the not too distant future, which we'll have to wait and see on that come January and beyond. So again, thank you for watching. I'll speak to you again after the game on Saturday at Leicester City, and let's hope we get a positive result down there and keep moving up that league table. Up the Blades, keep the faith, and I'll speak to you soon.
In 6 days, obviously Saturday, Tuesday, Friday at Preston, and this one as well. So I'm not so sure anybody else has had that sort of schedule. Try and check it up, but so we just got to overcome. But a bit of a juggling act.
To confirm, then, is Chong back and available?
Yeah.
How do you see him fitting in?
Yeah, he can play anywhere along the top line. We know about him from when he was at Man United, and then his journey to the Premier League with Luton Town, playing in different positions as well. So he can play off the left, he can play off the right, play as a 10. He's a really good footballer. I've been really impressed with him. Know a little bit about him. Obviously, it was a signing before I come in, but I've got to say he would be possibly one of the players that I would have been interested in. So we paid a couple of quid for him, and looking forward to working with him.
Tom Davies had his setback. Is there a sort of time penciled in as to when he might be available?
Not really. We've got to look at his schedule and really make sure, try to as much as we possibly can, and we've already tried to do that. That it gets an extended run at it. Just been really unfortunate that he broke down. So we're going down a couple of different avenues as well. He's away abroad at the moment, going to see someone in Germany as well. So with our doctor. So hopefully we'll try and get to the bottom of it, because it's really important, not just for us, but for Tom as well.
Yeah.
If this keeps happening, it's not great for him and his mindset.
It doesn't sound short term then, sadly.
No, it's not going to be short term tomorrow or maybe next week. And maybe we're going to have a look at it from doing a little bit more of a deeper dig as well into it as well, to give him the best opportunity of having a run at it. we feel we were there. There's been no rushing the player back. There's been no recklessness from our point of view in terms of his reintegration into the first team. We've all been satisfied he's been ready to go in. So maybe we're going to have to do, like I said, a bit of a digger deep.
In terms of availability, Shea Ogbene, where's he in terms of his rehab?
Yeah, he's working away. So I don't think he'll be available for maybe the next 2 or 3 games, but hopefully leading up to the Christmas period, in around Boxing Day and the games around that period, the back end of sort of this next block of games. Hopefully he'll be in and around it.
Jairo Riedewald, how would you sum up his influence in the short time that he's been here so far?
Yeah, we've just been talking about it. Possibly one of the most low maintenance players you could ever wish to work with, and just gets on with his job off the pitch. Delight to work with, intelligent guy, and on the pitch you can see why he's played in the Premier League for so long, and why he kept getting contract after contract at Crystal Palace. So delighted to work with him, and a player that we'd love to work with a little bit longer as well.
Are the mechanisms in place for that?
Yeah.
Is it kind of set in stone that there is a deal at some point?
No, I think it's just a conversation now. We knew what he was about from a technical point of view, and now he played the game. We've watched him, we've analysed him. There's always, from that fitness point of view, how he comes into the group, and how he comes into the building, especially when he's not played a lot of football previous. But you can see he's handled that fine, coped with it fantastically well, and a little bit sometimes might liken it to sort of the David McGoldrick sort of situation when he first come into the football club. It's really a confirmer on maybe from a physical point of view, and for him to look at us as well. And I'd like to think that he'd be quite happy in terms of extending his deal here, and how we've been towards him, and we've certainly been delighted with his contribution. Just brings a nice calmness and a steadiness about our play. He drops on second balls. He gets the first pass out. He smooths the play. He's not going around crashing into tackles all over the place. He's not spraying 20, 30, 40, 50-yard wonder balls all over the park, but he just keeps us ticking over, and he's a vital ingredient, especially over sort of this last sort of 2 or 3 games in terms of our performances and results.
You obviously had a very good week. Leicester City, the next challenge. What do you want to see as an upgrade from your team going down there?
Well, upgrade or consistency, really. I said to Danny after in terms of always the biggest compliment, and I've said it to the players, always the biggest compliment that can be given myself, the coaches and the football club, is they know what they're going to get when they play Sheffield United, and I think that's sort of coming together now. Not always guaranteed the result, but performances. We want 7s and 8s out of 10. We don't want a 9 out of 10, and we don't want a 4 out of 10. We don't want to go from there in games as well to there as well, which obviously we did it in a couple of the games. Preston game, possibly the most recent one. So consistency is really key. We go to a club that I would say, from the teams that have been relegated out the Premier League, one of the strongest group of players that there's been, and just shows you how difficult this division is for anybody. I suppose as well, when you look at it, and when you see what happened at Man City sort of last season, what happened at Liverpool this season, how difficult football is to win games, and what can happen when you're on a downward trajectory a little bit in terms of results over a short period of time. No doubt, I'm not going to talk too much about Liverpool and Man City because there's an incredible amount of respect, but this is what can happen. Regardless if you spend a load of money or whatever, you can get into that sort of situation where winning games is tough, but arguably for me, the best group of players, winning the trophies they have done over the past 10 years, FA Cups and Premier League, and being in Europe as well. And I suppose just how easy at times it is to lose games and to come out of a division, regardless if you've not spent anything or very little, or you spent a shed load of money. So a big challenge for us. They can produce performances if they want to, and they fancy it. They turned over Stoke a couple of weeks ago. They were second or third. I think drew at home to Coventry as well. So the results have been okay, but I suppose from the supporters' point of view, and maybe and above, I should imagine, like maybe a couple of the clubs, and us included, they would have been expected to be higher up in the division.
So, thank you.
Morning, Chris.
Morning.
I guess in a slightly different world, you could have been in that dugout this weekend, couldn't you, against United? It's funny how things work out sometimes, isn't it?
Yeah, it's mad. Yeah. I spoke to Leicester City in the summer. Impressed with what they had to say, and at the time out of work, so disappointed not to get that gig. But you move on, and I enjoyed the process, enjoyed the interview process, and I was disappointed not to get the job, because I'd like to think that we could have been one that worked well for myself and the coaches that we would have brought in. Know a lot about the club over a number of years. Know a lot about the players as well. A couple of players that we've worked with: Luke Thomas, Hamza, Harry Suter as well. And they had talking to them, they had a very positive view on the club. What Enzo did as well, and we share the same agent. So knowing, it's a big club. It's a big club, and I wanted to get back into work, and I thought I could have done a decent job for them. But it's worked out fabulous for me personally. It's coming back to my club and trying to push on from what was a difficult start.
Yeah, you mentioned the big man there, Suits. I know that one of your things is to keep an eye on former loan players, isn't it? See how they're coming along. Is he someone that you're sort of keeping half an eye on?
I always believe Leicester City have always, their academy is absolutely top. Brought some outstanding players through in the years, and continuing to do that. I think that was one of the attractions when I spoke to them and talked to them about, the bulging talent in the academy, and so knowing a lot about the football club. They've always got some good players, and we've always looked at their players from an attitude point of view. The academy, they bring through tough boys, and they sign some good players. So they've obviously got a lot of players as well. But we're working away on our list as well. But Harry had a fabulous first part of the season. A big player for us in our defensive record up to Boxing Day, when unfortunately he tore his Achilles. And I've always been Hamza fan. I thought he was outstanding for us. Went about his job, no nonsense. One of the standout players when the pressure was on late on in the season. Two playoff games, and a real positive performance in the playoff final for us.
Yeah. I want to ask you about Gyro. I know you touched on him with Gids, but I guess the worst case scenario from your point of view is that you're sort of getting him fit for someone else to come and take him in January. I assume you've had the conversations with him about his openness to stay around the place and what he thinks about it. Have they gone?
Yeah, both him and Pat. We'll crack on with that, and I'd like to think there'll be an enthusiasm from them. There's certainly an enthusiasm from me. I've already spoke to Stephen Bettis regarding it. I'm the same. I think we should push on and move this forward. They've got all the attributes to help us short, medium, and long term as well. The balance of experienced players and young players is key. Putting it all together. I think we've seen that this season. Talked about City being in the middle of the park and other bits and pieces. But I think it's important that we have those leaders, we have that experience and calmness. Gyro showed it in bundles on Wednesday night, and so did Pat. I thought his performance was outstanding, and to get off the mark early is great for him. Danny coming onto the pitch, Danny playing on Sunday in the Sheffield derby as well. Ben Mee's performances so far this season have been outstanding. So, yeah, the combination of the young players, of course, and the experienced players is something that has always been very, very important to me.
I want to ask you about Ben specifically. I mean, at 36, you talked about the schedule being against you, and I imagine for him it's against him more than most. But how much work goes in 9 to 5 in the week to make sure that he can get through those, and from an experience point of view?
Oh, unbelievable! From a mental point of view, he knows how to deal with it. And you've got to get yourself out of the comfort zone. Of course, it's going to be tough for our players. But the reason that he's had a fabulous career and he's played a lot of games in the Premier League is because he dedicates himself and he acts like a winner off the pitch. And gives himself the best opportunity to produce his best performances. Quick turnaround, yeah, of course, not ideal, but you see now, and I suppose maybe 5 years ago, maybe 5 to 10 years ago, as soon as you hit 30, that was you done. I think maybe Gordon Strachan was possibly one of the first players to sort of book that trend, playing for Leeds United, and 34, 35, 36, 37, whatever he was. Not quite sure of the age, but I think he was the one that springs to mind. And you see James Milner now, Danny Welbeck. You see boys playing. Jamie Vardy playing and producing. At 38 was 38, 39, and he was playing in the Premier League last year, and he was arguably their best player. So I don't buy into it now. From those players, as long as they look after themselves, and the majority of those players do, and the ones that do get the opportunity to extend their careers because they put the work in away, and they act and live like winners, as I've said, and give themselves that opportunity of extending their careers.
Yeah. Lastly for me, I just want to ask you about Louis Barry. There's a report this morning on the BBC that he's back at Villa with an assist on his knee. What's the situation from your point of view with Louis?
Yeah, he's back there. So it's been a difficult loan for Louis, but he's got an injury at the moment. So Villa parent club are looking at that. Mm-hmm. Obviously, at the start he was playing. He played games, and he was the previous manager's signing. His attitude's been spot on. He's a good kid to work with. He's obviously not played a lot of football while I've been here. With the change up, really, with Callum playing off that left, and Gus playing off that left until he was injured, but Gus coming back into it now, and then Brooksy playing there. So yeah, we're assessing all the loans. So I'm not going to make it an unbelievable controversial statement, but there will be players that are on loan here that will go back to their parent clubs. Yeah. So we're assessing that at the moment, but at the moment, Louis is here to the 1st of Jan. He's injured at the moment. He's back at Villa, and we'll just see how that progresses over the next couple of weeks.
Cheers, Chris. Good luck.
Cheers, Dan. Thanks.
Hi, Chris.
Good morning.
You'll have come up against Martí Cifuentes from his time at QPR. What sort of challenges do you think his teams pose? Well,
they've just got outstanding footballers, especially at the top of the pitch. You look at the group, internationals all over. Turkey's international, Denmark international. Luke Thomas, who we know most probably be back. Payero's played in the Premier League, or Ramsey's played in the Premier League. Skip and Winks in the middle of the park, proper players. At the top of the pitch, good academy players. So if you look at the squad on paper, it's a top squad, and a top squad for this division.
Cheers.
Hi, Chris.
Hi.
You already mentioned your busy schedule, playing 3 and 6 days. With Leicester playing on a Tuesday instead of the Wednesday, how do you think their extra day of rest will benefit them?
Yeah, I mean, we'd like it flipped the other way, of course. Any advantages you can get in this division, you want to take, but it's up to us to close that advantage. be mentally strong, physically prepare in the way that we've done, the recovery that we've done, fully commit to that. We talk about that as well. So, but yeah, it's an advantage. But you know, hopefully it'll even itself out over the season, or maybe we might have the have an advantage over teams that they have at the moment with us.
Morning, Chris.
Hi guys.
You talked about consistency. There's still a long way to go this season, back-to-back wins. Would you say that it's too early to fix your eyes on the playoffs?
You can't take away all the talk where people, you know, you see these Opta supercomputers putting up, you know, where you're going to finish, this, that, and the other, and I'm not so sure it always is the case. So got a lot of work to do still. We can take the confidence off our work recently, and we want to climb the table. But we just look into the next game, and hopefully we can produce the performances that we have done, especially over the last 2 games.
In terms of fitness, Ben Godfrey still out, Tahith Chong still out. How far away are they from being back to full fitness?
Yeah, Ben's playing in the reserves tonight, and we've got a behind closed doors game on Tuesday, which will benefit Ben to get some more minutes under his belt, and Chong will be in the group that goes to Leicester this afternoon and be involved tomorrow, and then he'll get some more minutes on Tuesday night, a free week, which we're looking forward to.
Okay. One last question for me: would it mean more for you to beat Leicester this weekend?
Any win is tough. You've got to do a lot of things right to win any games of football. These things happen in football, in terms of what happened this summer with myself. So that sort of connection, I was grateful for the opportunity to go and speak to a really, really big club. And unfortunately it didn't work out that way, but fortunately for me now, I'm in the place where I love being. But no, just another game, and if we can get a result, that'd be great, and it'll top off and cap a really positive week. And we need more weeks like this if we want to get to the position where everyone wants to get to. Cheers.
Hi, Chris.
Morning.
Just one from me. You said recently that players will definitely want to come in January. Do you see the next few games, particularly the game against Stoke, as being imperative as attracting these faces, or? No,
not really. No, I don't think one game. You don't just have to pick one game to highlight. Whatever happens, whatever game it would be, there's players already.
But I mean, in the run-up to January, as in the next few games, will they be important to attract players, or do you think the club are in a comfortable position right now where you can attract the players that you need or want?
We can attract players. We can attract good players.
Cheers.
All right. How about that?